Christmas! It's Christmas! It's Christmas! It's Christmas! It's Christmas! Did you know?
Yeah. I had one or two hints. It is, and if you can't tell, we are big kids when it comes to the holiday season.
Yeah.
But we are the Unconventional Intentional Homemaking Podcast. I'm Issa.
I'm Blaise.
And today we want to talk about non-traditional Christmases. So Christmas is a...
Christmas-I.
So Christmas is if you don't have kids or you have a different lifestyle. Basically, Christmas is if your Christmas doesn't look like the ones on TV.
Yeah, the ones on TV are very... Well, they're definitely a look. They're very curated for a specific way, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's for a reason. Like, the holiday season is very family orientated. I can't speak for other countries or other cultures, but over here it feels like Christmas has become much more of a cultural thing than anything else.
Over here being in the UK, specifically in Wales.
Yeah.
Geez, I wonder how much variance there are just within the UK, because we're a very diverse nation, but even that within our cultures. So we're South Wales, but in Scotland, as a sidebar,
I have no idea. I mean, I have experienced Christmas in different regions of the UK, and it's not that different.
Yeah, that's fair. but what you see on TV is very much that, you know, different families. There's always a lot of people, there's always a big gathering, there's often a lot of kids, a lot of high energy.
Yeah. So the working title for this podcast was actually Christmas Without Kids. Because we have Christmas without kids. So that's our major difference that we have from the Christmases we see on TV.
And the whole with two women married together. That's a kind of sidebar to, you know, there's that too.
Yeah, but I don't think that changes how you celebrate necessarily.
It means both of us get stuck in the kitchen.
That's one way of looking at it, yes.
So yeah, that on TV, Christmas is very high energy. It's very, well, because they're always selling you something. It's always very giving focused. It's always very lots of kids, lots of toys,
yeah,
lots
there's
of
always
noise,
mountains of presents and lots of noise and lights and
all the food.
Yeah, I mean, so far we're sounding pretty traditional with our Christmas because we do all those things.
Yeah, I guess our point is you can do all of those things and not have children. Children don't have to be the focus of your Christmas.
Yeah, and I understand for a lot of people and a lot of families it is, and I have had those Christmases where it's very, very child focused. I mean, I was a child once, I believe.
So I was going to say, like, I have been that child, but I've not actually really had many Christmases where there's been young children around.
So yeah, I would say most of my Christmases were very child focused, like up until the last few years. We had big family Christmases. There was a lot of kids. There was a lot of presents. There was a very specific family oriented routine that happened. And don't get me wrong, it was magical and wonderful. But it's very different from... It's actually not different at all from what our Christmas looks like now. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's exactly what our Christmas looks like, it's just without kids.
Well, there are two big kids. Let's be fair. We bring the kids energy. We are massive big kids at heart.
And we love Christmas.
And we do love Christmas.
We love the holiday season in general.
I mean, it has its problems, but, you know, when you're in a neurodiverse household, what doesn't?
Yeah, and that's actually one of the reasons because we could have big family Christmases should we choose to. We do have families.
We choose.
But we choose not to. We choose to actually spend it together.
Yeah.
And we obviously don't have kids. And
hence the title of this podcast.
But I guess that's the point, is that the point of this is that our Christmas is no less magical.
Certainly no less valid.
Yeah.
And that's the point, is it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, what your family looks like, what your family unit looks like, how many kids you do or don't have, how many adults you have in the place. It doesn't matter what religion you are or any of those things.
No.
Every way of celebrating or not celebrating Christmas is valid.
Or the holiday season.
Or the holiday season and the different ways. In fact, that's what's so magical about it, is there's so many unique ways of doing it.
Yeah, and we come at this from a very Christmas-focused holiday season perspective, because that's the seasons we've grown up with. That's the major focus in this country at that time of year.
So it's also interesting how Christmas is done around the world, as in how Christmas is seated between other holidays.
Yes.
So in the UK, like, you have Halloween, which
it's not really a big thing.
Then we have Bonfire Night, which, other than annoying the animals, isn't really a thing.
No, it happens for like one night and you almost forget it's about to happen.
Yeah. No, they're not family events, they're not big celebrations.
Not in the same way that the other holidays are.
Yeah. No, we don't get we don't get time off for it or anything. Like, they're just not really celebrated as such.
It's the kind of thing, if you have kids, you do take them to, or you go out and see some fireworks. But it's a couple of hours, you're done, you don't do a lot of prepping for it.
Yeah, they're not big events. And so you've got all the way from
beginning of November.
So either that. So what holiday is there even before?
We don't really, like Easter.
Yeah, Easter's not really. So Christmas is...
It's like our major holiday time.
Yeah, whereas I know in other countries they've got things like Thanksgiving or like Independence Day is a much bigger thing in the America. Whereas for us Christmas is the event.
It is the event of the year. Easter's kind of by the by a little bit. Halloween's Halloween happens a little bit.
Halloween happens without us.
Yeah.
Halloween is like most of our street Halloween this year. You look down the street and there's so many people pretending not to be in.
Yeah. Yeah, Halloween in the UK is a really weird thing to experience. You get like 3 houses in a town that go all out. You get half of the kids dressing up maybe. And then that's it. The rest of the population entirely ignores it's happening.
Actively, as in pretends not to. We closed the blackout blinds and sat there and literally pretended not to be in.
Yeah.
Halloween is great for other people. And so then we've got Bonfire Night, which we've got animals. We have to stay in because Cora gets upset. Cora the dog gets upset with fireworks, so we stay in to keep her company. And
we have to stay up late for her until they've actually stopped, because they can keep setting off fireworks until like midnight on Bonfire Night.
Yeah, which is really annoying.
That she really gets upset by that. But that's it. Other than maybe New Year, and that kind of lumped in with holiday Christmas celebrations.
Then it's Christmas and New Year, and then
that's it.
Yeah, it's definitely like the big key.
We're not a country that celebrates a lot of things.
We're not.
Just realised we don't celebrate many things. Not in a full-on Christmas type of way.
Yeah. Not in a aim to get the family together type of way.
So our entire holiday identity is Christmas.
It's Christmas! So I guess that's why it's even more important to emphasise how it doesn't matter how your Christmas looks, it's still valid.
Yeah, because the Christmases we see on TV is families, kids, grandparents, a couple of aunts and uncles, all gathered around a Christmas tree. But for many, many people, that is not what Christmas looks like.
No.
Like, for us, we don't have kids. Christmas is the 2 of us. But for other people, they're alone, they don't have family, they don't have anywhere to go. It's a very different and a very difficult time for some people.
It is, and I think that should be recognised as well, as not to bring the tone down and not to bring the excitement down, but I think it is important to recognise that some people's Christmases aren't great.
Yes.
Or they are very different. They're all equally valid. And in this country, I don't know how it is with other countries, but in this country there are actually a lot of pubs and restaurants that do open Christmas Day.
Yeah, if only for an hour or two, just to have somewhere for people to go.
Yeah, somewhere for people to go and make those connections and not be so alone.
Mm.
So we do actually recognise and help and support with that.
Mm.
But yeah, those Christmases are also valid and hopefully cheerful.
The reality is, for some people it's an awful time, for others it's another day, and for some it's like the event of the year.
Yes, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it being the event of the year by yourself.
Yes, if that's also what you
choose.
So I have done a couple of Christmases on my own for various reasons, and they were very, very strange for me because I had big family, so going from everything to just me was quite odd.
Yeah.
And I did that by choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird experience.
I haven't had one on my own, but some of the Christmases I've had, I do wish I was.
So Christmas is very special to us. We really do enjoy it, and we go all out and we do as much as we can to make it still as magical as we can for ourselves. But some of the reason that we put so much effort in is actually because we find Christmas quite a difficult time of year. We're not very good at big family gatherings.
No.
All of the social pressure that comes with Christmas is difficult.
I'm incredibly antisocial.
You're actually not, but I'm incredibly antisocial.
So I have autism, so that, like, being out of my routine, out of my comfort zones. Like, if we had kids, there's a good chance that they would also have autism. Because, and it's okay for everyone's Christmas to be tailored to them and to
the needs that you have. Yeah.
And it's okay to say no to people, particularly if going to other people's doesn't meet what you need.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine to look at the holiday season and go, what is it that I want to get out of this? That's actually the reason that I had those couple of Christmases on my own, was because of my situation at the time. I didn't want the big fuss. I actually wanted the self-reflection time and to not have to go through all of the social stuff that comes with it.
Yeah, you're kind of forced to take a certain block of time off work. So for some people that's the only time over those few months that they get off.
Yeah.
So historically a lot of our Christmas time has actually been spent doing DIY and sorting stuff out around the house, because like, when else are we going to do it where I've got the time off work, because I'm going to take my time off. So I think that there is kind of, because you see it all on TV and a lot of the time, let's be fair, families do like to pressure. I think that there's sometimes, while creating a Christmas that works well for you, there can be a lot of guilt or shame or pushback. There's a lot of emotion wrapped up in, without kids particularly, or having a Christmas as you want, particularly when it's different from what other people want for you.
Yeah, I think this is actually wrapped up in a whole bundle of shame for me. And it's actually only very, very recently that I've started to accept that it is okay for me to not have kids. Like, there's an awful lot of shame as a woman in the society we live attached to not having kids. Especially as someone who focuses on the home, doesn't actually work, someone who doesn't have a job outside of the home. There's a lot of shame there, and I get a lot of imposter syndrome of, should I even be allowed to talk about the things I talk about? Because I don't have kids.
I think that's probably amplified at Christmas, particularly. And not only is that amplified at Christmas, but amplified at Christmas with your family background, being from a high demand religion, where I imagine Christmas actually has a lot more meaning than it does for perhaps me, who they tramped me down to the church to sing some hymns once a year, and that was my religion.
I actually don't remember a lot of Christmas stuff. Like, it's a very family-focused religion, so we were very much encouraged to be a family unit over Christmas. So there were, of course, church services surrounding, but there was never a, you must go to church on Christmas Day or any of those sorts of things.
Do you know people who going to church for or midnight mass, Christmas Eve was very important to them.
Yeah.
But also, you say like very family focused, but I'd imagine there's still that emphasis on family means kids.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire thing of the religion is have as many kids as you can.
Yeah.
As early as you can.
Yeah, which then, here's you.
Here's me, yeah. 40 without any.
So I'd imagine that's like extra, that judgment from the religion, from the family, from...
It's taken me a lot of years to untangle all of that, because even really quite recently I get making my cleaning videos imposter syndrome because I don't have kids, and I'm like, am I even allowed to talk in this niche? Am I allowed to talk about this subject without having a traditional life with kids?
I mean, yes, because the house still needs cleaning, because, and I definitely need looking after. I am just a big kid.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop the shame and the self-doubt and the stuff from happening. I don't think you've ever felt that sort of self-doubt in your life.
Yeah, so for me, not getting around to having kids has not a sense of shame, but a sense of losing a life that I'm not on.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I get it quite a lot, because I do watch some content creators that are currently having that new child, new baby life. And I get nostalgic for a life I don't have that I thought I was going to have.
But at the same time, I know that if we did, this wouldn't be the life we were living. So you can't have both.
No, because I really love our life.
Yeah, you can't be child-free and child-full.
So I got some images then. Do not be full of child.
So yeah, I like... having kids or not having kids, life is great regardless.
Yes, I imagine our life would be wonderful with kids. But you know what? It's wonderful without them.
Yes, it would be very different. And so I know that I lament the life I didn't have by not having kids, but I know if I had kids I would lament the life that I'm missing.
Yeah.
I can't win. And then I do agree, at Christmas that's amplified.
Yeah.
Because Christmas is, quote unquote, the family season.
Yes. And I do go through a period, like probably on Christmas Day the most. I have this almost melancholic period of thinking back to what Christmases were when I was more engaged in big family life. And
I think there's that built-in magic of that wide-eyed child as they come in and they see that Santa's come and they've got their stockings and they've got all of these presents from this magical, mythical being.
It's really creepy if you start picking that apart, but yes.
No, there's so many creepy things about the idea of Santa that But at the same time, like, we have stockings.
We do. We do all of the things that we would do if we had kids, but for each other.
We might start drinking a little bit earlier, but that's about it.
Yeah.
To be fair, my parents, when I was young, would start reasonably early.
My parents didn't drink because religion.
Yeah.
So yeah, drinking's actually not a big part of it for me. It's a really huge thing in holiday season culture in the UK. Is drinking. But yeah, I didn't grow up with that, so I never formed that association.
You don't have the association of, oh yeah, we can have a champagne breakfast for Christmas.
Even though I enjoy those things now.
We do have a lot of traditions, but I think a lot of traditions that we both have grown up with are almost for the children.
Yeah, I think both of us had a very stereotypical normal family Christmas, actually.
Yeah.
They looked very similar.
So just for example, something that my family used to do, there's a lot of things that my family used to do that I think was specifically for us kids to help manage us throughout the day.
Yes, your family is your family.
Yes. So there was all sorts of rules, but starting with that excitement of the stockings, we weren't allowed to have those before 6 a.m. And then there was the rule of making sure that we'd all been up, dressed, breakfasted.
And no one got dressed in my house on Christmas Day.
So yeah.
No one did that. Not until it was time for afternoon walk.
Ah, yes. So it's the afternoon walk that I'm specifically thinking of. So yeah, basically, we'd go through, and the whole point of making everyone dressed is to control the timing of things, so that you can eke that excitement out throughout the whole day. Because then we had the lunch. Oh yeah, no. Then we had main presents, and then we had lunch, and then we'd have a family walk, and then there would be tree presents, which were smaller presents, and then on the family walk we would use whatever we'd had on the walk. So if we got a bike or roller skates or pogo stick. We didn't do the pogo stick with the walk, to be fair, but there was a year of pogo sticks. They were great. What happened to those?
My niece went through a phase of having a pogo stick.
They're pointless,
they did
really.
come back. Yeah.
They were a bit yeah. What's the other than being fun? They're not exercise.
They're fun. They probably are a bit of exercise. They're core strength and stuff.
I guess, so particularly if you can actually get them to go
anywhere
and go forward. They're very easy to fall off of. So yeah, so the family walk was about the kids getting excited about the new bike and then getting to use it.
Your Christmas sounds very regimented.
Yes. then more presents, so the excitement of presents was spread throughout the day, and then there would be the family watching a film together as a family, and then dinner.
We had none of that. None of that at all.
So how did your family regiment and control the children in your Christmas? You're looking at me like, control the children.
Control the children.
Now I just have an image of all of these small children just running around feral for the day.
Now remember, but by the time I came around, like, I am much younger than my brothers and sisters.
Who is that?
So I was actually the only child when I was a young child.
So not the only child, but the only child.
The only actual child.
The only not an adult.
Yeah, for most of the time. So the Christmas was entirely focused on me. And end of the bed stocking presents, you opened those whenever you opened your eyes. The entire purpose of those is to keep you quiet for long enough for everyone else to wake up at a reasonable time. That's the point of them.
That's also why we had the 6 a.m. rule.
So you didn't start too early.
We didn't start too early.
And then it was go downstairs. Well, Dad would have to sneak downstairs to turn the Christmas lights on first. Then we'd all go downstairs, open presents, have breakfast. And all of the presents all at once.
That sounds so overwhelming.
Yeah. Then it would be play with presents, Christmas lunch, afternoon walk. Fall asleep in front of the TV. By the time that we got to that evening, the adults were all very much a bit sozzled and did fall asleep generally in front of whatever film we'd put on, which is generally a film that someone had got for Christmas. Yeah, it would be. And then my Christmases as an adult, but experiencing my nieces and nephews were very similar. Just that I was the adult and they were the children, allegedly.
Yeah, so I think we've kind of blended a lot of that together in that excitement of the children, that we bring that energy now.
Yeah, we are very much just big kids. Because we line up our stockings on the fireplace, and the dog and the cat have one too. Yeah. But they don't appreciate it, but we do. But stockings for us came a bit of a new tradition, where we would have the same things in it. So if we needed stuff or we wanted stuff, I'd buy us both it, and it would go in the stocking.
So that's about what was it? I think the key point of why we had the stockings though was actually a nod to children. It was a nod to bringing that childhood energy and bringing that childlike wonder into the morning of the day.
It definitely was for me, because I started this tradition and you knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
So you came down the first Christmas I did this to suddenly see stockings full of presents.
And oh my god, I was such a child.
Yeah. So for me, it was very much about bringing that childlike wonder through your eyes to it.
So yeah, we say we have a childless family Christmas. We don't. We're just the children, and a lot of what we do is about capturing that childlike energy through things like the stockings.
Yeah.
But just without the small things running around.
I think that's a key part of Christmas. If you don't have a Christmas that looks how you think it should look or how other people think your Christmas should look, you can still make it however you want to make it special. For us, that's doing a traditional Christmas effectively, but for the two of us.
Yeah.
For other people, that might be doing an entirely different thing.
Or not, nothing at all.
The magic of the holidays is whatever you make it to be.
Yeah.
And we make it special for each other.
We do, yeah. No kids required.
They'd almost get in the way, if
They
anything.
do, yeah. Then we'd have to make the Christmas about them, and no, it's clearly about me.
But we have a very light-hearted look at this, but it comes from a very serious place underneath that. That it's okay to be different.
And that societal judgment and how different people cope and manage with that. And I do think that hopefully going forward, like I would love one day that women don't have the same, just that expectation. Like, if you want kids, have them. If you don't, society shouldn't be judging you or putting you down or shaming you.
Yeah, for having them or not having them. Yeah.
More cat ladies.
I guess that's kind of the point, and that summarises what this podcast was about. The holidays are whatever you make it. It's however you choose to live your life, and that's entirely valid, whether you have kids, whether you don't, whether you have an entirely different lifestyle, or whether you have kids and you still don't want to celebrate.
Oh, do you know what? I'd really love to see some alternative Christmases, like whimsy goth Christmas, dark academia Christmas, gothic Christmas. Oh, no, but I might jump on Instagram and have a look and see what else is out there.
Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope that whatever you do this holiday season, you enjoy it, and it is the exact holiday season that you want to have.
Season's greetings!
Happy holidays.
Happy holiday!
Happy holidays, and we will speak to you soon.
Bye!